Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. Trying to think of who mentioned that last week. Wednesday is in wins. But we'll give everyone just a couple minutes. We'll take a look at what we expect today from the news events, and then we'll move into the charts. Yeah, we'll do a quick look at what happened during the London session, and we'll look and see which session highs and lows are still available. We'll make some light predictions on where we think the market can travel to this morning. And then from there, we'll watch the opening bell. We'll take the opening bell for 10 to 15 minutes and look and see if there's potentially a setup before 10, or we'll let the opening range extend to 10 o'clock, and then we'll look for an opportunity after that. Arender, D. Anderson, good morning. Good morning to both of you. Oops, sorry. Get rid of my face there. TC, good morning. All right, Armando's here. See, DB, you messing us up. You're back to DB now. We were just starting to get used to the other name. All right, KB, good morning. All right, let's go ahead and at least take a look at the calendar here. So this morning, there aren't any high impact folders or high impact news events today. Also, until 1 o'clock, we won't have anything that actually has some forecasting and comparable figures to look at. But we do have at 11 and at 12:30, we have two separate FOMC members speaking. Let's take a look and see what they might be talking about. All right, so we have an economic outlook and monetary policy at the Brookings Institute in Washington, D.C. So that's one Federal Reserve Governor, what is it, Kugler? Adriana Kugler will be speaking there. So we have one speech done in D.C. and the second one, okay, at the at the Economic Club of Washington, D.C. So we have a second one. So we have two separate speeches, two separate events, both taking place in Washington, D.C. FOMC members speaking about the economy and potentially interest rate forecast for the rest of the year and strength of the currency and all that good stuff. So we'll see how that impacts the market this morning. We also have at 1 o'clock the 10-year bond auction. So 11, 12:30, and 1 p.m. So it's a nice little cluster of 2 hours. We have three medium impact events there. So this really, really impacts those who like to trade during lunch. So if you're a lunchtime trader, make sure you understand where you are in the market when these events occur. You likely will be in a position after the 11 o'clock one, but make sure the 12:30 event doesn't surprise you and you're in the middle of a position and you see a big spike. But when we come back for the afternoon, at least all the news will be announced, and then we can wait for price to settle and then look for afternoon positions. So that's what we have as far as news today. Remember, 11, 12:30, and 1. So let's go first, take a peek at the dollar, see where we are. Okay, grab the daily first. There we go. All right, so a couple days ago, we had these two black lines. We had those levels run through by the dollar. Even yesterday, we had it open up in the middle of the two, but it retested the upper one, pushing into this larger fair value gap before rejecting back into the range of the previous day's calendar. I mean, some previous day's candle. And now we have another starting today. We are all already looking at lower prices. It just opened up, traded down to this fair value gap, and now it's showing a slight bounce now, but nothing major. We'll continue to monitor it and see if it pushes lower and if we end up getting down to this fair value gap. All right, get down a bit. So remember, on the higher time frame, we have this huge fair value gap above. So this entire region is red. Now on the 4-hour, we can see that price is likely to bounce between these two fair value gaps. So maybe we'll see a slight incline, but we need to pay attention to when it gets to that first area of 104.263 that we have been waiting for weeks. When it get back to that level, we want to see if that becomes resistance, and then it pushes price lower. Right. The hourly, not a whole lot to speak about at the moment. I think there's still a gap here that if you pull it across, you'll see it traded down into, and that's the wick. So again, as we saw on the last time frame, the 4-hour, there's bearish fair value gap above. So we can see a bounce here up to this level. So you end up seeing this and then back down. So I'm expecting something similar to that, but we'll see when it gets to this level, whether it pushes downwards or whether it continues up. Even if it continues up, remember on the higher time frame, the 4-hour, it was right here at the 104.263 level. So it might get back up there. And we also see there's an hourly fair value gap there as well. So this could be the resting place where it finds resistance and pushes down lower. Right, so that'll do it for the dollar. So for the most part, we're expecting some level of consolidation with maybe a small run up and then another run down. All right, let's check on ES and just see where it is in relation to that all-time high we've been looking at before. All right, still not there yet. Remember, that's at 50.28. We're still another 30 points away. The high of the week, or I believe last Friday, was 49.97. And we are extremely close to that. We're about 1.5 points away. And so that could actually fall any minute now, even while I'm speaking. Okay, now that we're at the 4-hour, I believe there's going to be actually, no, I don't think there is a fair value gap anywhere. So it's all the way down here. So I wouldn't think that would be in play today. It could be. It's about 50 points down, which is good range for ES in a day. But you can see we had several days of consolidation where not a lot of movement, and now we're challenging highs from Friday as we speak now. So the opening bell likely will push that through. We won't have an issue. So we have another 5 minutes, and I'm expecting 49.97 to fall. If it doesn't, then we have the new week opening gap. We also have the new day opening gap just below it and a fair value gap. So if we don't get this level right now, then we'll get this to this. But most likely what we'll get is we'll take this level, which then allows us to then say, all right, that's external range liquidity. Then we'll be looking for internal range, which after we take that level, internal range will be back here or just somewhere in here, because there will be a fair value gap that we would potentially be creating on the next candle. So the next candle is going to retrace some. We just don't know how far. And then potentially the following candle may retrace if we need it before taking higher levels. But again, we're expecting for all-time highs 50.28 to be taken. All right, let's see if there's anything on the hourly that gets us closer. Yeah, so we see plenty of fair value gaps if it needs to retrace a little bit before overtaking this level. But my guess is it'll take the level first and then come get the fair value gaps and then continue upwards. Okay. And finally, All-time high of 17,793. Still within play, still right within reach. We also have the high of last week, I believe Friday or Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Friday was at 775. Okay, looks like it's about to be taken now as I'm speaking, and it just happened. There we go. So Friday's high has now been swept, which also means that all the highs for this week has been swept as well. The only thing remaining is the all-time high, and right, we're talking about 20 more points or so. So let's pay attention to the opening bell and see if it goes to touch that, or if we get some sort of retracement. And let's look and see where the retracements might lie. Okay, it doesn't look like there's much to see on the 4-hour, but on the 1-hour, just like on ES, we have these two levels that price can trade back into prior to taking the high. Go here, and then here, or there, either one of the two. And if it wants to go a little deeper, we have the new week opening gap, which is also part of this fair value gap, the larger one. So several things that can happen with price this morning. We are expecting it to push higher, but in the meantime, we recognize there are some retracement levels below that price could trade into. And so we'll keep our eyes open and be agile and make sure that we're available and ready for price as it prints. And with that said, let me stop talking and get ready for this opening bell. Let's see who else has joined this morning. Yeah, news. Good morning, CEO Esh TJ. Welcome back, everyone. Fauci, MC Tony's, Jay. Morning, everyone. All right, look like we have a good audience this morning. Sniper, welcome. All right, so this is London high from yesterday. This is also Friday's high from yesterday. Let me go and put the session highs back on, because those will be important. All right, so that was that New York high and previous day high have been taken. We have the Asia high taken, London high taken. Okay, New York low taken, Asia low taken. Obviously, the New York low is from yesterday, so we'll get a new one here at 10 o'clock. London low also taken. So there are no session highs or lows that are available. Yep, all session highs and low have been taken. So let's just pay attention at 10 o'clock when the New York high and low are printed, and then we can look and see what may happen during the time to go and sweep those levels as well. And just offhand, the New York low is going to be right here at 653. So it's going to be below the midnight open, and below the midnight open could be an excellent opportunity to long if you're looking for a long. Only problem is about 120 points down, and so that would take quite a retracement to get there. So that's all I got. 4 seconds, and here's the opening bell. Kendrick, Chuck, Tommy, good morning. TikTok, how's it going? All right, since all the session highs and lows have been taken, I'm going to remove it just so we have a cleaner chart. All right. All right, TJ. So far, we have had a retrace into a 15-minute fair value gap. Let's see if we make it down to the 8:30 open. Okay, we pushed to the lower extremity of the fair value gap, the BISI here on the 15-minute. Take a look at the 5, see if there's anything that we care about there. It's fair value gap just like the 15. Hey, hey, Vivian, good morning. Happy trading, everyone. All right, Dustin, good morning. Thanks for the reminder, Dustin. I appreciate that. All right, for all the regular trading hour retracement folks in here, just wanted to highlight this large gap we have here that Dustin just brought to my attention. This is where we closed off yesterday at 4:15, or yeah, I think it's 4:15. At 4:15, we closed here at 6:45. We opened at 9:30 at 773. So you're talking about 130 points or so. My math is correct. That's a lot of retracing to do to cover this gap. It doesn't mean it's going to cover the entire thing, but you could relatively expect for there to be a nice retracement today or some type of selling action. And if it covers the entire thing, yeah, 643. Let me look and see if there's an area confluence at 643. Okay. Yeah, we do have this on the 30-minute, but also here on the 15-minute. You can see that we have, yesterday I drew this up. It was late though. It was, I don't know, I think it was after the session where we had potentially a breaker block forming, which we did finally get. And it looks like 4 o'clock it was confirmed. Once it broke through and closed above, we had a retracement into a fair value gap. And then obviously the regular trading hours was over. But then during after hours, Asia and London we saw price push out of the breaker and go for previous session highs, which was highs from this week as well as highs from Friday of last week. So if we do get a break back down through the regular trading hours and we fill in this gap here, we might run right back into the breaker and then see that push price off. Okay, for anyone wondering, the breaker is going from the extreme of this candle at 10:30 all the way to the candle body at 11:15. So it's just covering the candle bodies of this bullish push here prior to sweeping these lows and creating the lows of the day. All right, so I'm going to go back to electronic trading hours. So we'll see all the Asia and London session candles. But I did want to highlight this. And again, thanks, Dustin, for the reminder. All right, let's see what we can get today. Okay, looks like we've just tested the 830 or gotten within a point or two of it, maybe a tick. Are you talking about, Shamir, are you talking about the regular trading hour gap I just showed you? All right, give me 1 second. All right, Shamir. So here on TradingView, it's right here at the bottom where you have this ETH. It's an option that you can change and move it to regular or go back to electronic. So you'll have to look and look on your other platform and look and see if they have the same option. And if it does, then you'll be able to switch it. I don't know how to do it because I'm not familiar with the platform you're using. But if you can't find it, you're going to have to probably search online and see if someone else can help you out. But if you want to do it manually, you can. If you want to do it manually, all you do is you go to yesterday's trading. You go from 4:15 p.m. all the way until 9:30 a.m. this morning, and you just highlight that area. Yep. So here's my, on the 15-minute, here's my 4:15 close. I'll latch on to the bottom of that candle. And I'll just carry it up until the 9:30 open. So we finished here. I'll make it purple. Right. So then this would be your gap. So you could always just do it manually if you can't find it on your platform. In fact, let me see if I can leave this up here without it being in the way. Let's see. Do that. All right, everyone. Top of the money. Yes, it could be. It could be Snipe. Okay, we're about halfway through the opening range. We can see this opening 15-minute candle was a good size, so it was a good response to the opening bell here. Some days we get a lackluster response, but most of the time that's due to news being announced at 10 o'clock, so it doesn't really want to make a large move before the news is announced. Okay. All right, like we're getting a slight pullback to the 8:30 open. We have the midnight open all the way down at 660. Okay, I adjusted the Fibonacci now on the 5-minute from the 15. Now it's a little bit lower, which I feel a bit more comfortable with. Okay, let's see if we get another rejection from the 8:30. Dustin, I think TJ said he was short. I don't know if he just scalped or if he's still in. Are you waiting in the line at school to do the drop off and you're sitting there on your phone trading, TJ? Okay, Dustin. So you're still in on a short. Okay. Yeah, TJ, definitely be safe. We'll catch you in a few minutes. That is correct, Frank. I usually go from candle body to the wick. I treat the lower wicks as manipulation, and I treat the move itself as the candle body. If need be, you'll pull over. uh, hey, trading first, being on time to school second. All right, let's see the reaction here. Does it push right through? But based on this candle looks like it has a lot of strength, so I would expect it to be honest. But this candle's about the same size as this one, although this one was a bearish candle. I mean, I want to see the same strength continue and push through and close above. Let's go back to the 15 and see where we are. Yeah, see on the 15, we reached equilibrium because I took it from here. I was going to take it from this one, but I just felt like this full retracement here negated this entire move. So the move to to a higher high started from here. And so here on the 15, it definitely pierced the 50% twice, the last two candles. And now we see a big bullish push. On the 5-minute, it was a bit different. As you can see now, the origin of the Fibonacci has a different location. So dropping it lower. Now the 50% is just below. So let's see if we get a retracement out of this fair value gap back down into this fair value gap, into the bullish one that's below 50% on the 5-minute. If it continues up, previous highs are in place. So 779. Back, let's drop this so we can see better. DB, yeah, I was hoping that we would get a playback down. We do have equal lows now, so that also gives us some comfort that this is a good level for price to return to. But right now, it looks like it wants to get through this fair value gap and potentially make a new high. All right. Let's go to even lower time frame. Fair value gap's in the same place almost. It's a little bit higher. All right, so these are absolutely equal lows. So it's at 719.5. this one, and let's see, at the same price at 824. So we didn't take out the daily high just yet. We're now retracing deeply and fast. So again, these equal lows at 719 is in play. Go back to the 5-minute. I may find Tuesday's high. I see what you're saying about it being a mitigation block. All right, 769. Okay, got it. So damn near where this wick just went to. Right, oh, that's right. We were looking for the 5 minutes. So let's go back to the 5 and let's do that Fibonacci one more time. Remember, equal lows potentially being taken any moment now. And after that, we're looking at the 50% retracement of this most recent leg from 7:30 until the opening bell. Yeah, exactly. TJ can do all things, including trading. Well, the rest of us, we need to focus on just trading. All right, we did have a sweep of these lows, just barely, not a lot. So maybe a tick or two. See, the low on this candle is 18.75, low previously 19.50. So three ticks of sweeping this low and still not quite hitting 50%. Not quite there yet. Right, so we have a push above the 830 open now after sweeping these equal lows. I was hoping for a deeper retracement. So with it being such a shallow sweep here, only 3 ticks, I believe. A little pessimistic about it carrying on. Looking forward to it making another retracement and potentially doing one deeper. Because it also didn't touch 50%. It got just shy of 50%. So I'm still looking for that as well. 720 and 765. So is that the range now? Frank, yes, you are right, Frank. I generally wait till 10 o'clock. So I let the opening range complete for 30 minutes. And then we look to see after price is settled whether there's a setup that we're looking for. Let's go back up to the 15. Okay. Yeah, good point. Let me go and check the dollar and see where it is right now. Because that is going to have a big impact on where we think we're going for this morning and how likely we are to get there. Okay. Yes, we do have the dollar so far this hour has been buying. I mean, it's only been 3 minutes, but it's showing good momentum so far. That could just be a fake out where it's creating the up wick for the hourly candle. But we do need to acknowledge that it's moving and just hang tight for a bit before jumping into an opportunity. Okay, let's see if we get that deeper retracement. I'm looking for a minimum of 3 to 4 points, not 3 or 4 ticks. So far this hour, we do have alignment between the three indices, as well as the dollar. I mean, dollar is bullish so far, and we're seeing bearish activity on all three indices. At 8:30 open again. See if it continues to be a rejector, continue to be resistance to price. All right, we'll bring this back later if we need it. Yeah, it keeps testing the 8:30 open. It continues to be the level that it wants to rest at. So we're about halfway through this 5-minute candle. Looks like it has gained enough momentum to push past, but that's also happened the past 4 candles. So we'll wait and see how this candle closes in 2.5 minutes. Okay, 1 minute left. Okay, almost at closure. All right, mathematical genius. Good morning. Welcome back. It's been a while. All right, it looks like it might even take the 9:30 open. So we might have a new high of the day. This is 779.5. There we go. So it's already taken it. All-time high is in play. 793. And there it is. Nasdaq, new all-time high. 17,998 flat. And still pushing. Okay, now all three indices are trading. Trading bullish. We have S&P, new high of the day. We have new high of the day on Nasdaq. Dow, high of the day was from last hour, so it still has a low ways to go. But the dollar is still buying, even though it looks like it's in a consolidation zone. It still has a bullish candle for this hour. Right, while we wait for that, let's go ahead and just take a peek. Right. Oh, I just realized that I haven't had my camera up for a while, so I'll go ahead and do that after we take a peek here. So this is what I was talking about, the dollar. It's bullish right now, but it's in this heavy consolidation zone where it's not, it's just up and down every other candle. So it's not really making any progress. But we do see, look, S&P leaving the screen, Nasdaq pushing hard. Now it's at 810, 811, 812, 813. Holy cow, it's moving. 38,744 for the Dow. All right, let's get back to NQ as it's pushing for highest values it's ever had. Hey, Would have been a nice long to catch at 7:30. I guess you should be able to get at least about 100 points out of it. So 8:30 should be within reach. I forgot to mark up our New York high at 10 o'clock once it was set. And so that's what this last candle did. It took out the New York high, which was at 779. So now the only high and low that we have that's open is the New York low of 653. It looks like 653 flat is the New York low. And that's the only session high or low that's still open. All right. Looks like price action did deliver something on the bullish side for anyone who was able to get that, see that beforehand and jump in and make sure you didn't get left behind. Congratulations to you for making that trade. Um, I didn't see it coming, so I wasn't able to catch it. I was looking for a deeper sweep of these lows, which really never came, but that was the criteria I was waiting for. Yep. Yeah, we swept external again. So maybe now we'll get that deeper sweep of internal range liquidity. All right, D. Anderson, good job. Right. We're now waiting to see if continues to push higher or if we get a retracement, which then allows us to look for an entry model. But as of right now, it's not worth jumping in because you're not sure if it's just going to continue up or if it's going to turn around and retrace deeper into the fair value gap just below or the one below 719. Again, back to 719 would be 100 points. So that's probably unlikely. But still, we could see a deep retracement into this area, at least to the regular trading hours gap edge, just to retest once it passed through and closed above. Looks like potentially it's going to push higher. We got a minute left on this 5 minute candle, and it absolutely has pushed higher. It's still looking for that retracement, and so far we have not received that. It's still looking to push for higher prices, or at least this candle has already taken over the last candle, and still has 3 minutes remaining. All right, still pushing. Just get down to a lower time frame, see if we had any fair value gaps traded back into, which would have allowed some type of calculated entry. And looks like so far, okay, so we had one just recently. A couple minutes ago, we had a trade back into a fair value gap here. That's on the 1 minute. We go below the 1 minute. We've had a couple. We've had one, and then we had this cluster. So we had two opportunities on the 32nd. Let's see if we can't catch a retracement here. And get these two in. Come on, tap me in. All right. See if we can get this to turn around and give us a better result. This is why I don't get in on continuations, because it's hard. I've never had success doing it. You know what? What's up, Splash? All right, we'll see if this works out. If it doesn't, then we'll just hold tight until the afternoon after FOMC members speak. Alrighty, so that will close out our trading for definitely this morning, if not all day. We're gonna be done for now. That was not one of my winning strategies. I just thought that I could get in and catch one of those continuations coming off of a couple bearish candles. Yeah, the hardest part about this continuation is we don't know where it's going. We're in uncharted waters now. We're at the all-time high. All right, let's see if we can't get a retest of either the previous all-time high at 793 or down at the regular trading hour at 774. All right, I'll be right back. Let me just go and refill my coffee and give me 2 minutes. I'll see you guys in just a moment. All right, I'm back. All right, let's remove the fib for now. Just wait until we get a deeper retracement before we measure. Morning, Young. Welcome. Hey, Zach. LAFTA, I could, but it just seems like I don't know where to put it. It's not a lot of space. And the thing I have to consider for me, it's fine because I have a large monitor that I'm looking at, but I have to be aware that some of you may be using a phone, some of you may be using a tablet, and so your screens are much smaller than mine. And I'm trying to put as much on there without putting too much. And yeah, I feel like putting a dollar up there all the time would be too much, unless you want me to replace this lower corner uh, Nasdaq with the dollar, so you only really get one time frame. All right, Mo Rice. All right, Chris. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. All right, let's reduce our risk here. I really only wanted one trade to begin with. The significance of the dollar to the index is we like for them to play off of each other and move in opposite directions. So I do refer to the dollar quite a bit, but I only have space for two charts. So that's why it's hard to leave that one up there, so that I try to bounce back and forth and take a look at it. I'm looking at it all the time, but for you guys, I try to put it on the screen once an hour or so. All right, looks like this short doesn't look like it's going to work out for me. All right, there we go. So I don't know what this is, why this is still showing. It shouldn't be there. Let me refresh and see if it goes away. Okay, let me log out then. In fact, I think I'm going to stay logged out based on my losing streak so far this morning. So that's all good. I'll stay logged out. There's no need to log back in. But let's see where price is now. Try to see if that high would hold. Looks like actually it might actually hold. It just took me out. All right, let's hang out on 15 minutes for a bit and see if we're still looking for higher prices or if there's going to be a retracement or something coming. And we're moving almost at 11 o'clock. Let's see, when is our calendar event? Is 11 o'clock. Okay, so we got a FOMC member coming to speak in about 10 minutes. Hmm. Yeah, I've had that happen before, Zach, where the order won't disappear, and that's usually what happens when you do a market execution when your stop loss and your TP aren't connected to the entry. But they usually it's just sitting there. It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't put you into another trade or anything. It's just for whatever reason it's a glitch where it doesn't disappear. But I've had it where you log out and log back in, and then it's fine. I'll just log into my paper trading account for TradingView. That'll at least give me an opportunity to participate for the afternoon if I want to without wrecking my account any more than I've already done today. So, yep, definitely not been a good day, but it's okay. We'll rebound. We'll give it another go tomorrow. Yep, McTony's, you could rip higher. That's for sure. It could happen. We do have FOMC members speaking in 10 minutes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No problem. Yeah, I'll stay on and help you guys. No problem. I don't always have to be trading to host this channel and to be here for you. Oh, okay, Laughter. Good job. Glad you're enjoying TradingView or trade. Oh, you're on the Tradovate platform. Okay. Yeah, I've never used it. I only go in to change a few options so I can use TradingView. But I've never actually used the Tradovate platform. Chris, about 2 years, I guess. Before that, it was CFD, so I was trading like US 100, US 500, as opposed to being these futures. But the futures probably for the last 2 years. Basically, when I discovered ICT. Yeah, it's not the easiest to trade in front of a group of people, but It's fine. The good thing is usually it keeps you out of making bad trades. Unfortunately, this morning it didn't keep me out of making bad trades. I still made them anyway in front of you guys. So, so you can see I have the same habits as some of you. I make mistakes. I have to go back and regroup, and then for the next couple of weeks, I'm good to go. I won't make those mistakes again, and then occasionally I relapse. Well, thanks for that, Vivian. It's okay. We'll rebound. Get to an even lower time frame since it's the macro period. Let's see if there's anything to pay attention to here. All right, we swept high. Let's see if we get a retracement here or if price runs away. See if the scalp will work. It may have actually been too late because it may have already delivered. And it did deliver. Shit, I got in too late. So I got in, it should have tapped me in, delivered the 5 points, and then it ran down. Damn it, too late. But that's my practice account, guys. So don't feel bad. It's in the macro period, so I was wondering if we get a run on highs and lows for the previous leg, then switch market structure. Looks like we are getting that run here. If we can break through 836.5. Okay, we have broken through. See if I can get a short here at this fair value gap. Something a little bit higher. Mm, okay, looks like maybe it's not going to tap in, or maybe it's going to wait until one more minute. We have the FOMC member starting to speak. We'll see how price starts to spool once that happens. Got another 30 seconds before. All right. So it looks like there possibly will not be an entry here. Okay. All right. Remember, we want to see how it reacts when it gets back to the previous all-time high. Great. Let's see if we can get a short from here then. Why didn't it tap me in? What happened? Finally. So far, I have not been able to win trades with the trend. I've not been able to win trades counter trend. Mm-mm. Let's see what's going on. REI, there's a fair value gap right here, which was the short being taken. You can see the entry level right here at the bottom of the fair value gap, and the stop loss is placed above the candle to the left, the wick. And so that was the reason for taking that entry. Also, understanding that we have down here, we have the regular trading hours high that we traded past, have not retested. We also have the 2024 previous all-time high that hadn't been traded back to either. And so we're looking for a retracement here to touch one of these two levels, and then we'll see how it behaves and reacts there. And then with my entry models, I always go for a 1 to 2 risk reward, and so that's where this trade came from. And that question was for REI. But if you've been watching for the last hour or so, you've seen that seems like no matter what I do, the market's going the opposite direction. So if you want to fade my entries, go ahead. Seems like it would be good for you today. All right, there's another one that just the way it is. And this is why when you're not seeing the market well, you get out of your live account and you move over to a demo account. So guys, you can look at my setups, but I'm just telling you now, don't take my trades. Okay. Ask any questions about market structure or anything that you want to see, but don't look at this as a copy trading situation. Yeah, like a mug. That show you someone who grew up in the 80s, or at least been around somebody who grew up then. Mhm. Okay, we're about 10 minutes. So 10 minutes after the news event, after the FOMC member started his speech, probably taking Q&A and all that good stuff. So we're looking to see how the market's going to react. It has on the lower time frames flipped bearish, but that doesn't really mean much if you're taking trades or looking at setups off the higher time frame. So you want to still go through all of your time frames to see what is market structure looking like on each of them. In fact, let me remove these lines so you can see the wicks. So far, it looks like this fair value gap may hold. The previous one did not. The previous one was located right here. So if anyone took that entry, stop loss should have been down here. So you should be alive, but you took some heat there. Your entry would have been at 844 and your stop would have been at, oof. All right. Yeah, that's a 40-point stop. I'm not sure many people would have taken that. So yeah, you would have had to break down to a smaller time frame. But it looks like potentially this one may hold. We're not out of the woods yet. Let me go ahead and line up this trend line that I can see. Let's see if we get a push through or a rejection from here. Yeah, Dustin, me too. I'm assuming what I see is trash, trash can for you. Yep, today's been trash for me for sure. Uh, Khalid, CE is consequent encroachment. So it's 50% of an order block or a wick. So when he's saying the 15-minute fair value gap, he's saying the 50% of that fair value gap. Okay, the next candle looks like it might want to be the one to break through. We're still looking to see if it'll retrace because we're looking for getting back down to the 17,793 level. Yeah, you saw me lose two trades on demo as well. I tried to catch that short. I even tried to do a scalp, and even on the scalp, I was too late to get in, and it had already delivered the 5 points, and then turned around and went the other way, and yeah, just didn't work out. It didn't work out at all. Let me go back down to the lower time frame and see if there's a scalp available. I doubt there is, and that's right. Dustin, hey, you and I think we're on the same program today. The market always goes the opposite direction, at least today for me so far. So I'm gonna keep it light, keep my mood high, and yeah, we'll go back to live trading tomorrow. But for today, we're just gonna do a little. I'm gonna test out some theories. I'm gonna use my demo account to try to help me bounce back a bit, and yeah, let's see how it goes. But we have another 40 minutes left in this session. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and like the session, like the stream, so YouTube can continue to promote us. And if you're brand new and you've never subscribed or you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that as well. Make sure you don't miss out any invitations for future live streams. Check on the dollar, see where it is. Mm. Yeah, it looks like the indices and the dollar, they're still trying to fill themselves out. They're not really in sync right now. But a lot can change in the next 10 minutes. So we'll continue to monitor and we'll continue to wait. Right now, we'll get back. Who was that who said they were doing 810? All right, DB, it's you're within range. Another 10 points or so to go. REI, you can develop bad habits. It's all on you, but you're right. It allows you to develop bad habits. But it also allows you to test out theories that you come up with. It allows you to gain confidence. Um, it allows you to begin to develop your psychology in trading. So it has a lot of benefits as well. But you're right. You can abuse it and have it hurt you. All right, Tommy. See you tomorrow morning. Probably just bad plays. Maybe similar to the play I made earlier. Yep, it could. Yeah, we could get a big retracement today after putting an extra roughly 100 points on top of the previous all-time high. My favorite time to trade is around 10:30. Somewhere around 10:30 is my favorite time. And that's because a lot of times from between 10:20 and 10:40, you'll get a pivot of whatever the 10 o'clock or the opening range gives you. Is you'll get that pivot, and then you can find the last big move of the morning session, and sometimes it's the last big move of the day. Alrighty. Right. So I didn't take it at the 30% like I normally do. I decided to go with 40, and it traded exactly to 30% and delivered. So, man, just not in the cards for me today. Not even on demo can I catch a break and even enter a trade. right? That would have tapped me in at 40. But let's see if that delivers or if it would have stopped me out. Let's see what happens next. Does it go higher or lower? Let's see. Okay, yeah, it delivered. Mm-mm. Right on the 5 minute, we did get a tap into the fair value gap that was created during the last couple candles. So now let's see if we do get that final push. We have relative equal lows, and then a fair value gap below it, 17,802, which also includes the previous all-time high at 7793. I've used 2 minutes. I've used 3 minutes. Yeah, I've used them before. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite. It's only because the 1 minute sometimes will give you an opportunity, whereas the 2 minute will not. But there are cases where you see it on both. So yes, I've used the 2-minute before. Mm. Hmm. Oh, Fuego, you weren't here earlier? I could have swore I saw you here at the very, very beginning, but maybe not. Good morning. Welcome. All right, the second 5-minute candle to test the fair value gap area. Still another 2 minutes left on this candle. Okay, looks like we might get these equal lows, a relative equal low swept at 809.5. They still haven't swept those lows, but it's right there. Let me go ahead and put a marker on it so we can see it easier. Hmm. And we did get a sweep of that low, which is good. Good to see. Good to see. Now we'll see if we make it down to the previous all-time high at 793. If we're able to make it to 793, let's look for a reaction there, potentially a bounce and push back up towards sweeping these highs. All right. If anyone looking to potentially move in on this fair value gap, it's a rather large one. So you might want to drop down on your time frames and try to find something smaller, something with reduced risk that still gives you a similar entry. Yeah, the 15-minute is right here. DB is to the bottom left hand corner is the 15-minute chart. It is just now touching it. It looks like it's, yeah, it just touched it at the same spot as the 5 minutes, the same fair value gap. Oh, that's insane. It's the same exact range. Okay, now the 5 minutes a little larger, a little larger. The 15-minute ends about here. It's 770. Okay, yeah, it's something I'll have to back test HDS. Thanks for that. Planet Podcast. Good morning and welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I think somebody else already mentioned that. I think it was just above. It looks like Sports Hub mentioned that. So HDS, is this your strategy? Is that how you trade? Using the 9 EMA on the 1 minute and looking for fair value gaps for entries? Whoops. Let's see. When is the next person speaking? Okay, at 12:30. So we got another 50 minutes. So during lunch, anyone trading during lunch, just remember at 12:30 there's another speech happening, and so there could be some volatility at that moment. And if that doesn't happen, 30 minutes after that at 1 o'clock is the bond auction being released, the numbers. So keep that in mind as you trade through the lunch hour. Okay. All right, HDS, thank you. I will put that into my next back testing session and test it out and see if it works and see if I can incorporate it into the things that I'm doing. Yeah, lunch has been pretty good, DB, for the last few days. It has been giving nice setups, either just before lunch that then run through the lunch hour or something that forms in the first 10, 20 minutes of lunch and then runs through. Um, so by all means, if you are a lunchtime trader, I'm not saying don't do it. I was just saying, just pay attention at 12:30 and 1 o'clock just to see if there's a big reaction. Mm, okay. All right, we're looking at this candle currently to see if it wants to press deeper into this fair value gap. Again, we were looking for 793 to be hit, be retested as the previous all-time high, which was eclipsed this morning after 10 o'clock. Price started to run. Let's see, when did it start? So 10:05 candle just pretty much just took off until 10:30. So far on this retracement, we've had two fair value gaps fail. There was one here, and this is all on the 5, and then there was another one up here. So we had two that has not worked so far. We have price still reeling down. We have a large fair value gap here, which overlaps with the previous all-time high as well as the upper limits of the regular trading hours gap. We're about 15 minutes left on the session today. So go ahead and throw in all your any questions that you've kind of had on the sideline. You were not really sure if it was the time to ask or not. Go ahead and do that now. Let's make sure we get any questions that are out there answered before we get off this morning. For everyone brand new, we do take a break from 12 to 1, so we'll be back at 1 o'clock. There's an invitation already out there for anyone who's already subscribed. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to make sure you get the invitations. Looks like price is slowing down for a bit. Maybe getting ready for the lunch hour to come. Or it could be getting ready for the next macro period, which is in 3 more minutes. Ooh. Yeah, probably there'll be a push or something in lunch to take a look at. We have this fair value gap that looks like it wants to retest one more time, or maybe not. Hmm. Yeah, it looks like the low was 802 and a quarter. Which it gives us here. So we have equal lows. We can have it pushed down to 802 and a quarter now. E-mini ES, you mean? Oh, S&P took liquidity. Okay, got it. Yeah, Nasdaq made an equal low, so I don't know if you consider that taking liquidity or not. I would say it probably is taking liquidity. Yeah, let me move this over. When it's over, we know now we're in the macro period. Sweep of highs. Okay, let's see what happens now with this trend line. Yeah, Benny Orchid, we have the bond auction at 1 o'clock. So when we come back, it'll happen immediately after we get started. So we'll pay attention and see how the dollar is moving at 1 o'clock. I'm assuming the bond market is going to have a big impact there. And based on what the dollar's doing, we'll adjust accordingly and move our positions from there. Okay. Right. Mhm. Yeah, those equal lows, we were hoping the equal lows would be taken, and in another tap of the fair value gap on the 5 minute, which was right at, I guess, 802, somewhere in there. So we were hoping for somewhere around 800 at least. But 793, I'm still looking for that to be retested as well, since that was the previous all-time high, and it's been sitting there for, I guess, a couple weeks now. Let me look and see, did the S&P finally get its all-time high? Nope, not yet. I think it was 50.28, 50.28 for S&P. Okay. So we got a rejection of the trend line so far on the 1 minute, but another push through because of the created fair value gap on that bullish candle at probably at 1050 or 1150. Yep. Yeah, these macro periods are real. You generally see price want to change direction or do a sweep of liquidity or those kind of things during the last 10 minutes and the first 10 minutes of the following hour. Hey, any final questions? 5 minutes left in this morning session. Oh, caveman's here. Okay. All right. So Sniper took this area right here. It's at 833. Okay. So you must have extended all the way to the wicks. Okay. There it is. Yep. That 2 to 1 looks like this, or 1 to 2, I mean. All right. 879, 45 points. We'll come back and check on this trade after lunch, unless it finishes before, which is definitely possible. Look at it run. Planet Podcast, I believe you're on the S&P. We're looking at Nasdaq. Let me move this over a bit just so you can still see the fair value gaps. The green ones, more specifically. Okay, ran into a couple fair value gaps here where it rejected back to some of the recently created bullish fair value gaps. So it looks like maybe it's going to grab a little more momentum, get some help while it pushes for higher prices. So trade down a little bit, maybe grab some liquidity on its way up. Okay, traded through the first one, barely tapped the second one, and now it's already pushing higher. Let's see. I'm not in a long, Robert. I'm not in the long right now. I just set it up. This is a trade from one of the other subscribers. Sniper. Yep, Sniper ICT is the one who took this breaker trade. Hmm. Yeah, HDS, I don't have the 9 EMA on it right now. I'll have to do that at a later time. So I'll do that during my back testing. All right, everyone, that time has come. And I want to thank you all for being here this morning and for being supportive of the channel and in the chat and all of that. I will be back in 1 hour. We're going to take a lunch break. 1300 is the afternoon session. So again, thank you all for joining and cheers. See you in the next one.